John Dramani Mahama and his industrialization policy. We adhering to certain aspects of the policy have actually moved VALCO from where it used to be standing still to making profit. As we speak, I know that the board and management and everybody else, we're looking for an investor. When we say an investor, well, some say strategic investor. I prefer to say an investor because strategic investor will be talking about shares, will be talking about dividends, and they'll be talking about power. But when you talk about investor, you know that's simply an investor who would want to just make his or her profit and then leave. So there's a dichotomy to this, and then the misinformation, disinformation, and all that, and the inability to get all stakeholders. And I like what Eddie Bright said. This is a listening government. This is a government that's going forward. I strongly believe that all stakeholders will be brought to the table. The state of VALCO as we speak is that VALCO currently has actually moved from where it used to stand still to making progress gradually under the leadership of John Dramani Mahama and his industrialization policy. We adhering to certain aspects of the policy have actually moved VALCO from where it used to be standing still to making profit. As we speak, I know that the board and management and everybody else, we're looking for an investor. When we say an investor, well, some say strategic investor. I prefer to say an investor because strategic investor will be talking about shares, will be talking about dividends, and they'll be talking about power. But when you talk about investor, you know that's simply an investor who would want to just make his or her profit and then leave. So there's a dichotomy to this, and then the misinformation, disinformation, and all that, and the inability to get all stakeholders. And I like what Eddie Bright said. This is a listening government. This is a government that's going forward. I strongly believe that all stakeholders will be brought to the table. The state of VALCO as we speak.
Conversation around getting an investor. Who is against an investor? Somebody might ask that question because, you could be making profit and you could need an investor because of probably where you want to get to and the timeline. You understand? But the conversation of the kind of investors that probably is being turned out towards VALCO is because the true story has not been told. The true story now is that VALCO is not a deficit. VALCO is a profit-making machine. VALCO in the last 6 months have been making profit consistently. Probably it was made based on the information then. So probably going forward, if anybody has to talk about anything at all, maybe whoever should come back to VALCO, sit with VALCO, what is your situation? But don't forget, I did say, depending on the speed that probably is needed to generate whatever that government wants to generate. Don't forget that VALCO is purely Ghanaian. Government owns VALCO. Therefore, VALCO will welcome any investment by government. Conversation around getting an investor. Who is against an investor? Somebody might ask that question because you could be making profit and you could need an investor because of probably where you want to get to and the timeline. You understand? But the conversation of the kind of investors that probably is being turned out towards VALCO is because the true story has not been told. The true story now is that VALCO is not a deficit. VALCO is
Rise on 3FM 92.7. The voice you heard is that of Mr. Horace Ni-Ayi Ankrah. He is the man in charge of the VALCO at this moment. And, well, he says, well, there has to be an investor, not a strategic investor. You know, the business community will come and explain everything to us, what exactly it means. Is it going to be for us, or is it going to be like the divestiture look-alike that we had back in the day? What exactly does it mean? If VALCO is making profit, why do we need to trade it off at this point? Well, earlier, Mr. Ibrahim Mahama's aide, that's Rafiq Mahama, had put out something on his Facebook page, and he hasn't denied it since that matter came up sometime yesterday. It doesn't hurt if I give you a repetition of that. It says, well, really false media publication of takeover of VALCO by Mr. Ibrahim Mahama. The attention of Mr. Ibrahim Mahama has been brought to a demonstration held by the labor union of VALCO, during which some demonstrators allege that he is interested in acquiring VALCO. Mr. Ibrahim Mahama has no such interest and has not made any such offer to acquire VALCO. Unfortunately, the allegation is the latest in several vile attempts to impute the integrity of Mr. Ibrahim Mahama and subject him to needless public engagement. The track record of the integrity of the businesses that Mr. Mahama has invested in or interest in prove that his businesses are not one of the best run operations across the African continent. All of the business interests of Mr. Mahama have been illegally commenced or acquired and operate within the ambit of applicable laws. That explains why his businesses have survived for across 7 election cycles. He is committed to contributing his quota to the development of Ghana by investing in business opportunities in Ghana and beyond. He has instructed his lawyers to take the necessary legal action. Rafiq Mahama, special aide to Mr. Ibrahim Mahama. And that's debunking all the public conversations that he is certainly interested in it. He said, well, I'm not interested. I have never spoken about it. I don't think that at this point I have spoken about it. Now, the greatest conversation that must be had out of this is whether or not we're going to lose VALCO.
Yeah.
It is not about the personality Ibrahim Mahama. It is about whether or not we're going to lose VALCO at all, or whether we're going to give all VALCO to anybody. I think that should be the central point, rather than trying to personalize the conversation. Because even if Mr. Ibrahim Mahama, acquires it, and he has said that he's not going to acquire it, it then comes back to who is he acquiring it for?
Yeah.
Or what is he acquiring it for? Is he acquiring it for engineers and planners, or which of his companies?
Yeah.
That should be the conversation, no?
Yeah, that should be the conversation. I mean, I'll just pick it up from where you ended. If he should pick it up, definitely it must be picked up at a cost. And if he's able to pay it off, one, it's going to be a Ghanaian-owned company. It's going to employ basically Ghanaians. It's going to create expertise here in Ghana, and we're going to rely on it. So for me, anybody who working there will be paying taxes anyway. The company will be paying taxes.
Right.
We'll be expecting them, giving them the KPIs and so on and so forth. So there is nothing wrong for it going into the hands of
A private person.
But it was just 2004 that government of Ghana bought all the full shares. It was owned by Alcoa. Alcoa was the one that supported Ghana with 90% shares.
Right.
That was the stake they had in it. And then Ghana had only 10%. But in 2000, due to the high cost of power, Alcoa said we were bowing out. I think they went to Jamaica or so. That is where they went to do it, because we have bauxite, but VALCO needs alumina.
Right.
And we don't have the smelting, there's the refinery here to refine bauxite into alumina, so VALCO can use it. So the reason Alcoa left. So now government of Ghana has 100% share in it.
Right.
It started making profits, or it started getting back on its knees around 2024, 2025. There was a little conversation around it. And then now VALCO is where it is making profits in the last 6 months. So they have now started making profits in the last 6 months. So where do we situate it? Workers are saying they are going to lose their jobs in case somebody else takes it over. Does it mean that they are overstaffed? Or they are not qualified enough to work there, or they believe the private person, when they come in, because of the fact that they need to work diligently and make profit, they need to send some people home.
Or that some of their machines may have become obsolete.
Exactly. So for me, whether it's taken over by a private company or not, that is not my concern. My concern is that, is it going to be a profitable institution or establishment for Ghana to benefit from? That is what I am looking at.
Well, GIADEC has been speaking. They're supposed to be supervising that sector. For example, Minor, we have some figures though. Yeah. We're told that VALCO owes so much. What's the current state of VALCO's operations? Let's begin from there.
Right. So what we're looking at is what the situation is in relation to VALCO, right? 200,000 metric tons is what is their installed capacity in terms of aluminium and the work that can be done.
So this is live on Facebook, right?
It is live on Facebook.
Yeah. So go on Facebook.
So go on Facebook, you see the infographics there with all the detail.
Now, that 200,000 metric tons, they are currently operating at 35 to 40,000 metric tons. That's about 17 to 20% of what their output is supposed to look like. And so on the face value to start off with even, you realize that they are not even up to scratch in terms of deliverables. In terms of the value we can get from VALCO, we're not getting it as we speak. And there are a number of factors which account for that. And these include this part.
That VALCO owes more than 4 times what it is worth.
Absolutely.
So let's say VALCO is worth 1 million cedis. It owes 4 million cedis. That's about 5 million? Whoa.
You understand? So nobody is going anywhere with such a debt overhang on their heads. Money is owed to Gridco.
That's actually a liability then, if this is what it is.
Exactly. Money is owed to Gridco, to GRA, to TDC, and the valuation is between 90 to 100 million. Let's grant it, it's 100 million. But there's an interesting aspect which we'll see when we proceed is that the workers are challenging this amount.
Right.
This 450 amount which they say they owe. But
$450 million.
Million dollars, right? Where are we now in terms of the controversy surrounding them? The workers are rejecting the private sector inclusion or injection, which is to come. They say it is not transparent enough in terms of how things are going. They do not know who the investor is, and their debt is artificially exaggerated.
So they are challenging the 450 million US dollar debt. Yeah.
Then there's been some land controversy which has been resolved by GIADEC. You know, they are within the TDC catchment area and all of that. That has been resolved. But primarily, the concern is we want private sector to be involved to help deal with the situation, because we're already running at 20%.
Yeah.
And that's me being charitable with 20%.
Because 17 to 20%,
And so we're not getting full value for what it is. Let's go on, Fred. So right now, where we are at is the government, GIADEC, continue to make the argument that, look, we are not selling VALCO. We are only bringing a private sector
equity participation
to share in the financial burden, right? To share in the financial burden so that we can bring the company to some operationality.
Okay.
The workers say...
So that will move from 17 to 20% to maybe 50, 60, maybe 70%.
80. If you do, if VALCO is doing 80, what it means is that a lot more persons will be employed.
The truth is that VALCO has done 80 and 100 before. So we dropped the ball. Now we're looking for ways to pick up the ball and kick it. That's where the government, where government and GIADEC is coming in.
And then the workers say the privatization is just another name, that the equity partner could result in the states losing control. And at the heart of this really is job protection. They feel private sector comes in and then their jobs will go away.
When they say loss of state control, I don't understand.
Okay,
them.
so
600 million is what has been mooted to revamp. That's not cheap money.
It is not. Now, I sometimes think, because I'll go back to the earlier slide, the concerns raised by the workers relative to getting a private person to come in or an investor to come in, and sometimes you hear these concerns being raised. Okay, do you get the indication that these concerns are usually raised because if government has the bigger share, government owns it entirely. Then it becomes Abayejuma.
Yeah.
So we can do as we please. No private individual will lift his $600 million and give to you and expect that you will play Abayejuma with the work. So maybe we need to bring the workers to the center and ask them two questions. Are your people delivering at their optimal level? Are they firing on all cylinders? Because if you are firing on all cylinders, if a new investor comes, the new investor will maintain and keep you, because the new investor has reason to believe that you will help him to recoup the money and to even scale up and all of that. If you are doing Abayejuma work as usual, and you want somebody to inject 600 million and come to, what do you call it, and still do 70 to 20%, I'm not sure anybody will do the K. What do you say?
For me, the VALCO conversation itself,
the best in the morning.
you know, it's something that has been hanging in there. You hear 450 million as of January 2025, and then you hear 200 million. You know, those two figures have not been reconciled, and I'm sure that is why the workers are raising questions. They are questioning whether the figure in itself is authentic, and it's also creating a lot of suspicion. If you are an institution and you do not communicate, I mean, some of these things happen. I think their communication has not been effective. They have not been transparent enough with the workers. But the workers also need to come to this reality that, would you want to be 100% owner of nothing, or a 30% owner of something
significant?
You know, because I think that is where I would draw the line, because I'd rather have a 30% stake in something that is productive, is sustainable, is functional, and reserves that autonomy or authority for government, Ghana's interest to still be well represented, you know, rather than own 100% of nothing, because we've seen the 100%. So what is their alternative solution?
They so far, I don't think, Marina, correct me if I'm wrong, so far they have not given us an alternative. So far, so far they're only saying that don't bring in somebody, leave it the way it is. We want to keep our jobs. Leave it the way it is. Don't bring in anybody.
Which is where I believe there's a genuine problem. Look, we saw privatization of ECG when we did PDS for that short stint.
In fact, we did Aqua Vitens run with Ghana Water Company before we did PDS.
Yes. I choose the PDS example because that is very fresh in our minds. Right. Look, let's take away all of the pre-agreement, conditions precedent, conditions subsequent, all of those arguments. Let's take it aside and let's ask ourselves very legitimate and genuine questions. When private hands took over ECG for that short time, did we see efficiency? Did we see loopholes, revenue loopholes being clogged? Did we see workers who were transferred from ECG to PDS suddenly knowing how to do their job? Did we see that? We did. For that short period, we did. For that short period, I think it's on record that we generated quite a lot in terms of revenue, which
they generated.
Yeah,
the money is not with us. They generated. Yes,
they generated, right? Let's
put it that way.
Quite the revenue, which same workers didn't employ new people.
Yeah. But some have argued, Mawina, also that because they had an ulterior interest, you know,
you had to make it work.
It had to work.
Well, that's an argument we can get into. I am just
But it still doesn't take away the fact that it functioned.
The same system.
There were good outcomes.
Same individuals, because I remember they just transferred some ECG staff to work with PDS.
Yeah.
Efficiency went up. When private sector, public sector workers, I understand at the heart of it is keeping the job. But what is the job if it is not being done and the business is collapsing?
Fair point, because the job is not the place you go to every day.
Yes.
The job is the place you go to do something.
You are saying we've dropped the ball with VALCO. How can we move from 100, 80 to between 17.5 to 20%? And workers are saying that they will lose their job. What job exists?
How can jobs exist?
That you've not already lost, because on this tangent
we're exporting rocks.
On this tangent, the company will collapse. On the tangent we are on,
of course,
it will collapse.
We're exporting rocks, Mawina, and importing
aluminium.
Yes, we're importing all of these things.
As much as we will listen to the workers when they raise the concerns, we must ask them as well. Yes, management will come, management will go, they will have issues, they failed. At this point, you can say it confidently that there's been a failure in managing the state institution.
Because even the workers have been organized in partisan groups. Those are the realities that sometimes we do not say. But it's the hard truth. Even the workers are Did you see all of them there?
Some are opposed to it.
Even the workers are in every state institution in Ghana. You would realize that the workers, the civil servants, are organized in partisan groups. Civil servants
who are not supposed to be engaged in politics.
Yes, they are organized in partisan groups. So when Party A is in power and they are Party B, they will make sure they undermine Party A, and that has been the culture since. Let's not pretend this is French. This is ABCD. We know these things. It exists in our education sector. It exists in our health sector. It exists in our transport sector. It exists even in our armed forces. It exists there.
Yeah.
Police.
Yes.
Fire service.
Yes.
Everywhere.
Prisons.
Everywhere.
So when all of that is said and done, the job that you wake up every morning to go and do, what are you going to do?
So here's it. And Mariana, that's my question that I've always been asking. SIGA. State Interest and Governance Authority. They are supposed to be managing these state-owned enterprises, of which VALCO is a part.
That's Special White.
Good.
Special White.
They had a 2026 list of enterprises that were doing very well.
Yeah.
And I've always watched those. So when GIADEC was going down, I was watching National Theatre, all of them I was watching. Overall, 10 there are 12 winners.
Yeah.
Overall best specified entity, PMMC, that's now Gold Board.
Okay.
State-owned enterprise of the year, PMMC Gold Board. Most profitable state-owned enterprise, Gold Board.
Wow.
Most innovative state-owned enterprise, Consolidated Bank Ghana. Most compliant state enterprise, TDC Ghana. TDC is close to VALCO. Yes. Most consistent dividend pay SOE frequently is TDC. They pay their dividends frequently. The frequency is TDC Ghana. Most consistent dividend paid SOE Quantum is the Ghana Reinsurance PLC. Other state entity of the year, Environmental Protection Agency. Most financially sustainable other state entity, EPA. Most innovative other state entity, Ghana Maritime Authority. Most compliant other state authority entity, Food and Drugs Authority. Most efficient other state entity, Ghana Highway Authority. Where is VALCO? VALCO is not part of this list. Now, if we are looking for that, and I always mirror this SIGA list, the league table, with Ghana Club 100.
Yeah, Ghana Club 100, yeah.
Your first 10 companies in this country that belong to Ghana Club 100, your blue chip, the big boys, they are not owned by Ghanaians. So it's an attitudinal problem that has to be fixed.
Absolutely.
Look, you have people who work in the ministries who give half of what they are supposed to deliver. And then you have those same people, as soon as they leave and they find work in the private sector, some NGO or something, everything is working giddy, giddy, giddy. It is the Abaye Juma mentality that has to change.
It's a huge problem.
Abaye Juma mentality.
Huge problem.
It has to change.
Huge problem. Because, look, and we keep going back and forth. What should be the solution to VALCO today? If the workers say private entity, and we're not seated here and I'm suggesting that, oh, by all means, give it to a private entity, let it run it, and all of that. Let us ask the hard, important questions. VALCO is at a state where if it continues in the manner in which it is continuing, it will collapse.
Exactly.
What are the solutions?
It is on the brink of collapse.
What are the solutions? Workers, sit, suggest what you think can best fix it. Government is supposed to be taking decisions. That's why they are voted for. They must take hard and uncomfortable decisions. What are they proposing? Sit. Because it is not, the private sector investor, we don't know who he is. Yeah, by all means, let's ask those questions.
To know who that private investor is.
By all means, it's fair.
By all means, it's only fair.
It's fair.
But
I mean, when we are seated and maybe, politicians are you are selling to a friend to come and take over. Yeah, it's fair. But let's ask the question: how do we keep the entity running?
Right.
On the spot, in 10, 15 years' time, there will be no state-owned enterprise.
Yeah.
You see, it is only after when the deal is done that you expose everything to who, like the stakeholders and what they need to know. But at this point where we are saying VALCO is operating between 17 to 20% of capacity, VALCO is the number one customer to VRA.
That's right.
And if they are performing at this rate, what are we hoping to do? We export raw bauxite outside, and then we import alumina, which is far more expensive and a burden on the country. So if we are not going to operate, a refinery to get the alumina here and get it cheaper, then we are just joking with it. My point is this: you are working in an institution.
Right.
The institution is working under capacity. Somebody has come to take over. It is functioning. Per their assessment, they are claiming that we could do much better if we had this amount of investment coming in. We owe $400 million. You are claiming that that is not what it is. Tell us what it is. Somebody is bringing in $600 million US, so that 200 goes into operations going forward until they start producing profitably to ensure that they are paying everybody what is due them. You are not telling us the alternatives. All you are telling us is we are suspecting that person A wants to buy it, and so what? You just mentioned that Ghana Club 100 hasn't got a Ghanaian in there. If a Ghanaian owns VALCO right now, is that not going to be the number one company if it should so rise to the top of the table? Well, it's not about who is buying it. It's about if the output of the company is working effectively.
No, now, but I can also understand why people are concerned about who is buying it, because you see, you say I buy a debo teaching and one and you know, some few years ago. Yeah. Well, in this country, whenever we had a lot of family and friends are buying time, and tin time, and things like that.
Japadia, etc.
Yeah. So fast forward, when there's a lot of rumor mongering and fingers point to the president's brother, of course, people will become alarmed.
Well, but he has come out to say that he is
of
not. Of
course, and it's very good interested. He did, because if he didn't, as usual, the propagandists.
Yeah, exactly.
This is what they do.
They latch onto it.
Yes, they feed off these things, for clickbaits and things like that.
I'm looking for a day when people demonstrate or ask for better conditions of service. It will include the tools they need to improve the service or the products that they generate. I have never seen teachers go on demonstration or on strike because they did not have better classrooms to teach in. They go on strike because the salary is not enough. I've not seen nurses, doctors go on strike because they couldn't find syringes or gloves or
but
gauze.
Sometimes they mention them.
You mention them, but to make that the primary object for the strike, I have not seen that before.
No, that is not it.
So I want to see a day where, because conditions of service includes what you work with.
Absolutely.
If your washrooms are not clean,
those are tools of
and you are a lady and you go there and you always pick infection, that's condition of service.
Absolutely.
If I come to work and the console is not here, it is a condition. How am I supposed to perform.
You go and demand for your salary.
Exactly. For what work done.
Yeah.
But let's go on to the phone line, Patrice. I'll come back to you. Sorry.
Okay,
yes.
that's beautiful.
Mr. Samuel Ando is a manager and senior metallurgist at VALCO. He joins us on the phone line now. Good morning, sir. Thank you for your time.
Good morning, sir.
Great. Why doesn't the staff of VALCO want this new investor, if at all, to take over VALCO? What's the issue?
Okay, thank you very much. Let me use this opportunity to say a good morning to the first gentleman of the land, His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, our sector minister, Honorable Amakofi Boa, the GIADEC CEO, lawyer Reindorf Twumasi, and all VALCO employees. Yes, this whole investor search thing has been something on our plate for a very long time. But when VALCO was bought by President Kufuor in 2004, the government realized that the company was not in a good state and therefore needed some investment. So they started processes to get a strategic investor to come on board to work with VALCO. So successive governments have been trying to get an investor on board. It's not a new thing. In fact, the previous government got very close to completing the process. However, elections came in and there was change of government. Now, this government came in, looked at the situation of VALCO, and also realized that VALCO needed a strategic investor because next year VALCO will be 60 years. All our machines are old. We use a 1969 technology. I mean, nobody uses 1969 technology in this modern day to produce aluminium because you consume a lot of power and your processes are not efficient. So the government, started the process of getting a strategic investor. In fact, last year, there was an interministerial committee set up by our sector minister, and VALCO had 2 slots. And when they looked at the situation of VALCO, our finances, and the state in which we are, the best option that they said was available or feasible to VALCO was an equity investment, to get an equity investor to come on board. Because our finances and the state in which we are, our books doesn't support a debt financing. It will be very difficult for somebody to give us the amount of money that we are looking at. And based on some work done by people like companies like KPMG and some audit firms, VALCO will need about $700 million plus to change the face of it. I mean, we need to change our technology to a modern one. We need to change our equipment. In fact, some of the equipment are so old that if you want to get parts, you go and the company that produced the machine, they fold it up. So we need modern machines, modern technology, and all that.
Is it your view? Sorry, is it your view that this amount you're mentioning $700 million? We're also playing around $600 million in the studio and the infographics that we have. Is it your view that the government has the capacity to inject that much money into VALCO, or this must come from a private person? What do you say?
Yeah, so I think that we don't only need the money. The money is one aspect of it. And like you're saying, 600 million, that was done as of 2017. So now the company has deteriorated, much more, that the 600 will not be enough. We need much more money than that. And like you are saying, we don't only need money, we need expertise. Because if you have a new technology, you will need training, you will need exposure. In fact, the market, the global market, VALCO always sells metal to some big players in the market. You need to be exposed to the market because we have a lot of big giants in the industry. They sell their metal direct. And in our case, because we are not able to sell our metal direct, we pay for warehousing, we pay for freight and all that, and it's all part of our cost. Because if you look at the business model of our original owners, that's Kaiser. Kaiser had a lot of plants in other countries. So Kaiser will just bring the alumina, and VALCO will convert the alumina to aluminium, and they will send the product to their other plants, go and add value to it and sell it. So VALCO from day one, those of us here didn't understand the whole business side of the aluminium production. We knew how to produce the aluminium, but when it comes to selling in the market, we didn't know how to do it. We were always selling through people. So VALCO will produce, go and sell at LME to somebody. The person will maybe add value and go and sell it at a higher price. Because as we speak now, a ton of aluminium will be hovering around $3,000 per ton.
Right.
$3,000. However, if you add value, depending on the product, it can jump to $5,000, some $6,000 per ton. But because we were not adding value, the original owner was sending the product, the pure product from Ghana to other plants to go and add value before selling. We didn't know that bit of it. So when the company to Ghana government, we also continued selling the pure metal to other players in the industry, and we were losing, because you cannot sell pure aluminium and make profit unless you are very big like the EGAs. The EGAs, they are so big that they produce so many tons, and their process is so efficient, they use less electricity to do it. In our state now, we are not even able to pay our power bills.
So if I understand you, VALCO is presently not really fit for purpose because your machines are obsolete, and then you are not adding value to the raw aluminium that you or the bauxite that you have. Is that the case?
Yes, VALCO is not profitable. In fact,
so when the workers go to work, what exactly do they do?
So we go and work. In fact, the whole idea of VALCO's existence is that the whole value chain, the whole integrated value chain from bauxite to alumina to VALCO, which is the smelter, to downstream. VALCO is the pivot. VALCO is the center boot or the linchpin. We connect the upstream to the downstream. So if VALCO is down, what it means is that you cannot integrate the upstream to the downstream. And successive governments have always tried their best to revive VALCO so that we can connect the upstream to the downstream. And right now, the company is not in a good shape. So, of course, the government will want to put the company in a good shape so that the connection can happen. Because as it stands now, when we mine the bauxite, we send the raw bauxite, which is around $45, $50 per ton. We send it out there, go and sell, very cheap. Then VALCO will go out there and go and buy alumina at around $400, $500 per ton. So the whole thing is that if we are able to convert our bauxite to alumina here, VALCO can then take the alumina, convert it to aluminium. Then, of course, the smaller companies here, with the coming in of the industrial park, a lot of companies are coming to set up. Then now they can take the pure aluminium, convert it to something like engine blocks, alloy rims. They can do something like roofing sheets and all that.
So
then you have the whole value chain here.
So what do we
then
need,
you can,
Mr. Andor, what do we need to achieve all of what you're talking? Money, expertise, right?
Yeah, we need money, huge money. In fact, not just money, huge amount of money.
So then that means you need an investor, don't you?
Come again?
That means you need an investor, don't you?
Of course, we do need an investor.
So why are your people demonstrating then?
So they are in fact. So let me just say this: those who demonstrated yesterday, about 90% of them are not from VALCO. I don't know whether
where are they from?
They are coming from other companies like Ferro Fabric and all that.
Oh, the Industrial and Commercial Workers Union.
Exactly, because the VALCO local union realized that employees are not interested in demonstrating. They decided to work the demonstration through ICU. Because last week,
wait, sorry. We'll take it one after. I don't understand you. Are you telling us this morning that the bigger chunk of the workers of VALCO are not in support of the demonstration we saw yesterday, and that union had to go and recruit people from other companies that fall under the ICU to come and demonstrate at VALCO? Is that what you're saying?
Absolutely. Because, can I come in?
Yes, go ahead.
Yes, because if you look at the letter written by ICU to the police, the demonstration should have happened last week. But the intel that they picked was that employees are not interested. Employees are not interested in the demonstration. In fact, they picked that intel before ICU even wrote the letter, that employees are not interested, because whenever they engage the employees, they realize that they are not interested in going on any demonstration, because the plant, if you look at the state in which the plant is, I mean, you take over a plant beginning of 2025 and you have about 126, 127 cells. As we speak now, we have 93 cells as at yesterday. The plant keeps on going down. So employees realize that whatever the government is trying to do is rather going to help the company, because the plant is not going on well. Now government is trying to help, and you are trying to frustrate the process. So because of that, they worked the demonstration through ICU to get other ICU members, local union that has subscribed to ICU, to come on board to at least get numbers. Because they stated in their letter that they are expecting about 1,000 people. And trust me, the people from VALCO were not even up to 50. Because people didn't see the sense in, leaving their jobs and going to work for 4 hours. Meanwhile, the same person you are demonstrating against is the one who is going to help you.
Who were they demonstrating against?
They were demonstrating against the government.
Okay.
That the government is selling VALCO, which is not true. Probably they don't understand the difference between sales and investment.
Have you heard any names, possible names of prospective investors?
In fact, so the whole thing is that the ministry is setting up a committee. The committee is going to sit down and look at prospective investors who have submitted their bids. As it stands now, we don't know anybody, any prospective investor, who has submitted a bid. So the names that they are mentioning is neither in here nor there. It's not true.
What names are they mentioning?
They were mentioning. I know they were mentioning the president's brother's name. And they wrote on placards. They mentioned the minister's name, and I've not heard it before. I mean, and I'm very close to management. Because I'm a management staff. Of course, if something like that is there, we will hear it. They will communicate. There are no names out. I don't know where they are getting the names from, because when the deputy minister came last week, the deputy minister stated that the minister is putting together a committee, and the committee, 7-member committee. VALCO has 2 slots, only VALCO. Other stakeholders have 1 slot, and they are now going to look at the prospective investors, look at their terms and conditions, and negotiate and see which one will be best for VALCO. And that thing has not happened. So if you come out and you are saying that government is selling the company to this person, I think it's false. It's false.
What is management going to do now, going forward?
In fact, I don't think management is going to do anything, because the intel or the things we've seen in the company shows that management is behind what the union leaders are doing.
But you are a management member, are you not? Are you also behind them?
I'm a management member, but I'm not part of top management.
Okay.
So if I mention management,
you mean the ESCO? You mean the ESCO executive committee are behind what is happening there?
Exactly.
The demonstrators.
Exactly. Why do I say that?
That's a serious allegation. We have to justify that.
Okay, so let me just say this. So some months ago, about 2 months ago, some prospective investors, we didn't know the people, but we were communicated to that some investors have been sent from the ministry to come and tour the plant, just to come and see the place. And the union leaders blocked them from entering the plant. And we had management in the plant, and they didn't do anything. Any serious plant would have investigated to get to the bottom of it, so that those who did that will be brought to books. But nothing was done. No committee was set. And I mean, over the period, management has, communicated or demonstrated to us that they are against the equity investor option. They rather prefer debt financing option, which I'm sure, I don't know whether you've heard it, but always the union chairman, mentions it, and whenever he's on media, that they prefer debt financing option,
right,
and that they are against the equity investor option.
But presently, does VALCO have the capacity to take that alternative of debt financing?
No, please, because the amount of money that we need, whatever money they are talking about, will not do anything. In fact, as we speak now, we are operating less than 20% of our capacity. We are running, as at yesterday, we had 93 cells out of a nameplate capacity that can take about 500 cells. Look at the number of jobs that, if we are operating at full capacity, look at the number of employment that VALCO can create. So if we want an investor to come and inject big money and revive the place so that we can employ thousands of people, I think it's a laudable idea. So why would someone want to oppose such an idea?
Now I'm sitting here and thinking, how is VALCO able to pay all of you? You're a senior metallurgist. Your salary is big. And then the others that come. How are you able to generate money to pay if you are operating less than 20% of your capacity, less than 20% of your capacity?
Okay.
Yeah.
So if you look at our operation, in fact, every month you are making losses. But if you rank our cost elements, I think the first one is power. Then from power you come to alumina, and I think mining is the third one. And we don't pay full power bills. And our suppliers, we don't pay them up front. Like we manage how we disperse the money and all that.
Right.
When it comes to salary of employees, it's something that somebody works for a month and you don't pay the person, there can be a lot of legal implications and all that.
That's correct.
So when it comes to salaries, they make sure that they pay, but when it comes to power, we are not able to pay in full. When it comes to our supplies, we are not able to pay in full. And when it comes to other things, so they are trying to let employees know that once every month you are able to, receive your pay, the company is doing well. But I believe that when it comes to companies of this nature, we are looking at long-term maximization of wealth or of profit. So we are not looking at the fact that at the end of the month you receive your salary, and because of that the company is doing well. I mean, we are in debt, seriously speaking, and our operations are not efficient. Day in, day out, the cells are dying. We are cutting the cells. The machines are old. They break down, and some take days. We are not able to bring it online, and it's affecting the operations. As we speak now, we are importing about 5,000 anus, something that we have a whole plant, a whole department in charge of producing anus. We are importing 5,000 of them. So the question is, why are we importing something that we can do it in our plant? We have employees there, people there employed to produce the anus. Meanwhile, we are importing 5,000 of those anodes. It means that the plant is not efficient. We are not able to produce anodes to sustain the operations. Because of that, we have to fall on importing anodes, which since I entered the plant, we've never imported anodes before. This is the first time we are importing anodes.
Please, what is this? What is this thing that you keep mentioning? What is it used for? What word is that?
The anode. That is the positive. Yes.
Oh, anode.
That is the positive electrode. Yes, anode.
Okay.
Like we have battery terminal, we have positive and negative. So in the cell that we use in producing aluminium, we have the positive terminal and we have the negative terminal. So the positive one is the anode. And
because it was sounding,
it was
sounding. I've been to the plant before. It was beginning to sound something about this. It's fine that you have clarified. So the word is anodes.
Yeah. Anode, yeah.
Okay.
Anode.
Okay. All right. Thank you for
the
clarification.
It's a black thing. Yes. Yeah, it's a black thing, yeah.
Thank you for clarifying for us. I'm sure that in the coming days we'll come back to you and have a conversation. But you quickly tell me, what's the mood and feeling at VALCO this morning after the day after the demonstration? Do we have red bands out there still? Do we have people working wholeheartedly, or we have people grumbling? What do you know?
Yeah, so I can say that the employees are calm because, in fact, most of the employees didn't participate in the demonstration. They came to work yesterday. But most of them are calm because they didn't understand why people will go and demonstrate. You are sick, someone is trying to heal you, and you said you don't want to agree. So they are calm. People are going on with their normal work schedules. Everybody is hoping that the government will speed up the process, the investor process, so that we will get somebody to come and, support us. So as far as the employees are concerned, I mean, the workplace is calm. Nobody is complaining. I think we are just waiting on the government to do the right thing for us.
And the people who demonstrated are also at work?
Yes. I mean, they have no option than to come to work. But of course, when they come, they are always trying to convince employees to buy into the idea.
So they use the work time to convince people. What time do they get to work?
Yes, of course. If I didn't want to go there, but the point is, the local union chairman, who is the champion of this whole thing, doesn't work. I'm sure you know him, Mr. Ajiman. Doesn't work.
He's an employee, but he doesn't work.
He doesn't work.
But how does that work?
It doesn't work. In fact, you can. I know you know some people in VALCO. You can check. He is always in the union office where you came last time. The union.
Yeah, the one that was global built for you. Yeah.
Yes, he's always there. He doesn't go to his work area. In fact, the section that he was working with, because he doesn't come to work, the work he was doing, they have replaced him. Somebody is there doing the work. It doesn't work. They are always walking about.
Hey, I'm finding it difficult to accept that people. Hold on. I want clarity. That people have been employed as employees of VALCO. They have been given specific roles, or they had specific qualifications that brought them to the workplace, but they come to work and do not do the work that they are supposed to be doing. Rather, they go to the union office, sit there, and others have to do the work, but at the end of the month, they take their salaries and benefits anyway. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. In fact, when I came to the plant, he was, I think he was a technician 4 or a technician 3. And you always see him on the lift truck. I mean, he's working. But when he became the union vice chairman, from there to the chairman, he doesn't go to the work area. He's always in the union hub. And he's always going to administration. He's always going to the other workplaces, other work floor to talk to people. The work assigned to him, his role, he doesn't do it. You can check. I mean,
but I remember that at the commissioning of that project, Mr. Titus Glover at the time, Honorable Titus Glover, at the time, spoke and said that, look, they should not turn this place into their offices. They have to work from their offices. If they have union meetings, they can have it there, but they should then work from their offices. So why is that case now pertaining?
Yeah, so like I'm saying, because they are always doing the bidding of management, we have reported on several occasions. In fact, myself, I've reported to HR on several occasions that I'm also the chairman for the Management Staff Association. And I always go about with my work schedules. I work. I don't go and sit in any other office. However, the union chairman doesn't work, and they have to look into that. And probably because they know that he's leading a huge number of people, they cannot, call him to order. But the truth is that he doesn't work. He's always in the union hub, and he doesn't come to the work area because I work hand in hand with his department, and he doesn't come there to work, and management is quiet about it.
Wow. Okay, Ms. Ando, I thank you. Senior metallurgist of VALCO.
Yeah.
By the way, educators, what does a metallurgist do?
Okay. So what we do is that, or what I do is that any product that we produce in VALCO, I will have to certify it before it's dispatched to the customer. So if I say it's good, it's good. If I say it's bad, it's bad. Because I will have to do my checks and everything and be sure. I also serve more like the customer rep. So based on the specifications from the customer, once we produce the product, I make sure I guide production to meet the specification. And once they are done with the product, I do my lab checks and everything. And once I sign off that the product is okay, then now we can dispatch it to the customer. That is what I do in VALCO.
So, final question. What you produce at VALCO, is it good?
Yeah. Yes. If you look at the aluminium we produce, yes, it's very good. However, we can do better than that because we don't add value to the product that we produce. We don't add value to it. It was just recently that we just got a rod mill, which we are still in the testing stage. We've produced some rods that is what they use in producing the high tension wires. We are in the testing stage. Once we are done with the testing stage, then now we can go very commercial. We are trying to work with some local customers and all that. But even with the rod, I'm the one who signs off the rod, whether it's good or bad, because that is my work. I have to make sure I do my tests and certify that everything is okay before you can dispatch it to the customer. I see our product is good, but we need expansion. We need to produce more. We need to add value so that we can rake in more revenue.
I see. Thank you, Mr. Samuel Ando. I see why you don't want to spare the rod.
Charlie.
Have a good day. Thanks for speaking to us.
Congratulations to this man. I doff my hat to this guy. We need people like him. We need people like him.
The anodes.
The anodes.
Yeah, yes. Are very important that we clarify.
He doesn't go to work.
Yes, but he takes salary.
He takes salary.
In your building. Oh, but he's also my friend, though. Mr. Ajiman.
Really?
Yeah. They invited me when Mr. Titus Glover built that union building for them.
Well, you befriend people who don't like to go to work and work.
I didn't.
Mr. Ajiman, go to work.
I didn't. No, he's the union leader. But if he is not going to work, I then will suppose that the other union leaders may be tagging along because that union building has an office for nearly everybody, and a conference area. Yeah. Something like that. Because they were meeting in a container. Until Titus Glover waiting there as boss,
and then built that one for them. Yeah. But I mean, look, I like Samuel's disposition towards how he wants VALCO to go and where he sees VALCO.
Right.
So for me, people like
very
this are the ones, very passionate, and you know, he's dedicated, and he knows what he's talking about, exactly what he's talking about. The point is that we need investment in VALCO. We need it, regardless of what. We sit here, we talk about the world's richest men.
Right.
That we mention persons, a person. Don't you want to have millionaires and billionaires in Ghana?
We don't just need investment. Yes. The investment alone is not enough. Over the years, there's been a lot of investments. I mean, there's been a lot of changes. I have uncles who once worked at VALCO, and became redundant and had to find something else to do with their lives, because at the time,
yes,
you know, VALCO was going through what it is going through today. So it's surprising that after about 20 years down the line,
VALCO is still suffering.
VALCO is still suffering. And yesterday I was speaking his mind on it. He said the machines, you know, they are the same machines he installed.
They are old machines.
About 60 years ago.
That's what someone spoke about.
Mr. Andrew spoke about them. That look, the machines they have now, sometimes they even want to go and get replacement for some of the parts. They go and they find out that the company that produced
has
the
stopped
machine,
producing the parts.
They have folded up.
Yeah.
The company is gone. So you are on your own.
Yeah. So for me, it's
not
a very
just
serious
the
matter.
investment,
Yeah.
but also the human capital.
Right.
You see, the human capital, because you see, with organizations like VALCO, the culture there is a toxic one.
Oh, really?
The productivity.
It's not. Yeah.
That is why they are scared they'll be
efficiency.
let off.
I'm not sure. So
The
that was what.
efficiency.
That was what I was talking about buying Ejuma.
Yes.
And that's why Mawina came in with PDS.
Yes.
And I added Aqua Viterra.
Yes.
It's their buying Ejuma mentality.
Yes.
They are buying Ejuma mentality.
I like
Look,
your key
you
phrase.
can go to the ministries.
Abanye Ejuma
You can go
mentality.
to the ministries or any of those state-owned
institutions.
enterprises. There are a few of them that are exceptional, where you enter and somebody will walk up to you because people have been drafted from the private sector to come and head those places,
Right,
and they brought a few people in there to come and help them. So you find that the work culture around there is different, and the more you have new people coming with different culture, it kind of reorients.
Yeah.
But there are some of the ministries you can go to, and you can just walk in, greet, and sit down, and you can be seated for an hour. Nobody
Would come to
pay
you
attention.
to ask
No.
anything. Okay, so let me crave your indulgence and read this out as the importance of VALCO that we need in this country. You have something else that you put out there. So, economic importance. VALCO will give us forex and exports. So, at full capacity of 200,000 tons, VALCO could earn Ghana 400 million to 600 million US dollars in export revenue per year. So if VALCO were working efficiently and producing over 200,000 tons, we'll be getting between 400 million US dollars to 600 million dollars a year.
Right.
Because aluminum is one of the few heavy industrial exports that we have. Now, it creates 2,000 jobs, direct jobs, 2,000, and indirect jobs are 10,000. So if VALCO is working at full capacity, we're going to have 10,000 or 12,000 jobs created. So this is both upstream and downstream. So they produce roofing sheets, cables, cans, auto parts, and construction items. So that is huge for Tema and Greater Accra. Value addition. Now, if we export raw bauxite, as Andor mentioned, it is cheap. But when we import the finished alumina, it becomes more expensive.
That's right.
So VALCO is missing the middle ground. So without VALCO or getting investments to put these things in order,
Right.
these are things that will be
Of course.
be losing out on.
Yeah.
So it's very important that VALCO comes on stream.
Great.
100%.
Marina.
So, at least from listening to the metallurgists,
Yeah.
it is very evident, and we've been saying it here. We need investors.
The best in the morning.
The state, if we are being honest, does not have the money to invest in VALCO. We can go around in circles. We can have lectures as to how we've not managed state enterprises well. We can speak about how the Ghanaian must be in charge of our enterprises and whatever it is. When we finish all of those conversations, the bottom line is that we need an investor.
Yeah.
The equipment ought to change so that we can get value out of the company.
Yeah.
Now, when that is being done, the Mr. Ajiman, who they say doesn't go to work, I don't want to speak to it because
Leave Mr. Ajimai alone.
because
He goes to work,
Work, but he
the
doesn't-
workplace.
but he doesn't work.
because
so he
he's
goes
not
to the
here.
workplace
He's not
to
here
defend
also
himself.
to defend himself. So I am being very careful.
But I saw Mr. Ajimai. He's a very calm, soft-spoken,
The truth is, work. When we say work, there is a serious conversation we must have about what work entails in public institutions. when they say what is work, right? We must have a serious conversation as to what work entails in public institutions. Because somebody or some people will go to work, right? And the entire day, they will just file or shuffle papers.
They just showed up.
Or theirs is to carry a sheet of paper from one place to another. I'm sorry, but that is not work.
What is that?
Movement.
Look, technology can replace some of these things. I'm saying that we need to have honest conversation about work, is because when you take quarter one, government's fiscal activities, what they didn't fail in, I think it was by just around 2%, which didn't see releases, was remuneration, workers' salary, around 21 billion or so. I have to just check the numbers. I'm sure the data point will be somewhere. Salary, government doesn't. The finance minister said, we borrow
to pay
this because you cannot delay the salary. When it is that time of the year again for negotiations as to salary, upward adjustment,
it doesn't delay.
We don't miss it. We are always having the conversation. We are always not missing. Look, controller publishes when we enter the year.
Ask 10 young men why they want to join the armed forces.
Controller publishes every month.
Ask them why they want to work in the ministries or in any state.
Money is ready and it's available.
Look,
our parents tell us you get better job security if you find
exactly.
They don't tell us go and be productive. Go and add value to your country.
To the country,
They publish when salaries will be paid for the entire year.
That's right.
If it misses by one day,
they will start making noise.
But what is work?
So Marina, you see, again, it comes back to supervision.
Absolutely.
If I am supposed to turn up for work and I don't turn up for work, somebody in this house will know.
Yeah.
You will be phoned.
Somebody will know and somebody will ask questions. We go through the public sector and people turn up, right? At some point to say, we are doing random check, ghost names, come and verify biometrics, bring your ID card, bring your 3 pay slips, bring I go to the ministries very often, so I see that happening most of the time. And then at the end of the year, the Auditor General does his audit and still finds ghost names. If I work with K. Kojo, Patrice Amegashi, Mawena Egbeta, Frederick Kuzotiani, and our social media
Lord
Amwabeng, and we work here, and I'm the supervisor, I should know if Kujo came to job, or Patrice came, or you came, or Kuzo came, or whoever. Or even if I decide to create 2 or 3 layers of supervision, K should be able to confirm to me if the 2 of you came. And then among you should also confirm if the 2 others came. Where you have a situation where people come and do biometric, we waste man hours, sometimes 3 days, sometimes 1 week, trying to verify people that they actually work. And then when we finish, we have ghost names. Then we get to a point where we say, okay, you have worked, but we are not too sure. So come and verify that you actually came to work.
Can't you just sack that accountant?
I
or the financial director there?
That same person,
yes.
If he's a chartered accountant and he works as a KPMG or someone, he will not take that nonsense there.
Yes.
If they are ghost names,
when they enter state institutions, they enter with a different mindset.
Ejuma, that is what I've been saying. Ejuma. It's not for your father, it's not for your mother.
Human resource manager, financial controller, these 2 people must go home. Because HR knows the number of people who are working. And they would communicate to the financial director that these are the people you have to pay. So if you are paying and you're like, why am I paying Kofi Mensah if there's no Kofi Mensah here? Then who? You see, the point is that the problems are very simple. They are not huge. They are not humongous. They are not like, it's just simple.
No, I mean, all problems are simple until they pile up.
HR knows that we have 200 people.
When the problems grow,
So why are you paying 250 people or 300
the monkey
people?
on your back becomes a gorilla.
So who's the HR at the ministry or the department or the institution?
There's the
Sack
chief
person.
director.
Yeah.
There's an HR. There's an accountant. There's.
Administrator, operations, and all those people. So my
Then
point
you
is
can't
very
tell me
simple.
that they are ghost names, or somebody
How can we have
turns
ghost
up at work but doesn't come to work. But when the month ends, the person is supposed to
Person will be paid.
and this person is supposed to be a senior staff, and the senior staff has certain benefits, right? It doesn't.
It is well.
We have to the work ethic. Chinese, Japanese, Germans. Unfortunately, that is not a part of who we are as a people.
No way.
Now, it's not, because I've seen work done, right? Someone doing work, the finishing. So you can do a nice wardrobe on the front, it looks really nice, and the back, nobody takes care of it because we feel nobody will look there, and so full circle,
Substandard.
right? Full circle. It cuts through. That's why I feel that we can have all the conversations we want to have, but when they bring the new machines, even what is the guarantee that the people will deliver and deliver efficiently? We are here. We'll talk about we are building new stadia. We are doing this. We are doing that. We'll finish, and then somebody's job is to ensure the facility is maintained.
Look,
And
based
the
on the work
facilities-
ethic that you
and the
said,
facilities will run down.
based on
As
the
a
work
person
ethic
go
that
to
you
work.
said, my brother.
You go just a
Yes,
moment. You
yeah.
go around town. This morning, Johnny was mentioning traffic lights that don't work. Places that they drive there every day.
Yes.
You drive there every day. You go through the place every day, and you go to the office, and still the traffic light is not working. 6 months. What have you? And people wake up, drive. At the end of the month, they will receive salary. By close of year, unions are negotiating salary increments.
I'm
Every
saying that.
Wages that we pay as a people, it balloons.
I'm saying
Are
that.
we getting
I'm saying
value
that.
for all
money.
of the work?
I'm saying that. Yesterday, Mr. Solomon Kote of the ICU
Yeah.
was there at the demonstration. I saw him in a black suit. His name has become synonymous with ICU, not intensive care unit. Industrial and Commercial Workers Union. Same like other union leaders that we have known in this country, who are still supposed to be the employee maybe of Ghana Education Service or what, but they either doing NAGRAT or they are doing GES. Do they teach?
By the
in
way,
the-
our nurses are.
Yes.
Anytime
Do
they
they
are,
teach
yeah.
in the classrooms? Do they practice? That's a question that we must ask. Now, I will repeat the question I asked.
Right.
Mr. Solomon Kote, for example, has he ever been bothered about the obsolete machines at VALCO? Has he ever led a demonstration like that to make sure that the machines at VALCO are replaced
60-year-old
60
machine.
years on? Because I'm sure if you asked him in his heydays as a young man, when Dr. Nkrumah was alive, he would have told you,
VALCO.
Nkrumah, VALCO, I can strike.
Buses are
Don't go
taking
there.
people, housing.
Today, what is the story of VALCO?
Their clubhouse is dead.
And yes, look, the VALCO
VALCO clubhouse
the
is
VALCO,
dead.
the VALCO,
It is-
the Akuse clubhouse, right? That's it.
Yes.
That's Akuse, right?
No, there's the one here at Tema.
Yes.
The VALCO club is dead.
But there's look, I
The
saw.
machines have not been replaced. You are thinking of Clubhouse. Obe chilling.
No, nothing is working. When you go to their what's the name? The residential apartment.
Yeah.
Beautiful neighborhood, and you ask what is happening to VALCO. Look, you mentioned something, and I want the work ethic. So I went online to talk to my people, and they are telling me Japan stands out as number one.
Right.
And they are known for continuous improvement, loyalty, and
Right.
attention to detail. Number two is Germany,
Right.
known for punctuality, engineering precision, and apprenticeship system. Number three is South Korea, known for hustle, education drive, technology and startup culture. Number 4 is Switzerland, discipline, reliability, high-skilled work. Number 5, Singapore, known for efficiency, meritocracy, and can-do attitude. Number 6, United States, entrepreneurship, ambition, and hustle culture. Number 7, China, known for manufacturing discipline, speed, and scale. It goes on and on. So Denmark, Sweden, Norway, high trust, high productivity. Hey, Ghana, Nigeria.
We are known for hospitality. On that score, we'll take a quick break here on Sunrise on 3FM 92.7. Some 18 minutes on the top of the hour 10. My name is Johnny Hughes, and here with Kay Kujo, Patrice Amegashi, and Eric Mawina Egbeta. See you shortly after this break.
The Electoral Commission has reiterated its commitment to organizing free and fair elections this December.
How's your week treating you? I'm here to serve you great music tidbits for your at-work listening pleasure. Rastafari, Rastafari, Rastafari. Our Father, who art in Zion, Kanamawe, Kanamawe, Kanamawe. Oh, turn it up!
Come into the mountains. And I grandfather.
It's time to drive you home in style with great music, the 411 and all your favorite songs, what's happening around town, and so much more.
And in the headlines today, the two leading political parties have been addressing the public on allegations of corruption. The Black Stars coach has unveiled his squad for the upcoming games, and there are some interesting names. Pull up! The weekend is here and it's time to turn up. Get your dancing shoes on, let go. We really do have it all. It's a premium mix of information and entertainment every single day on 3FM 92.7, your urban lifestyle radio.
The Electoral Commission has reiterated its commitment to organizing free and fair elections this December.
How's your week treating you? I'm here to serve you great music tidbits for your at-work listening pleasure. Rastafari, Rastafari, Rastafari. Our Father, who art in Zion, Kanamawe, Kanamawe, Kanamawe. Oh, turn it up!
Come into the mountains. And I grandfather.
It's time to drive you home in style with great music, the 411 and all your favorite songs, what's happening around town, and so much more.
And in the headlines today, the two leading political parties have been addressing the public on allegations of corruption. The Black Stars coach has unveiled his squad for the upcoming games, and there are some interesting names. Pull up! The weekend is here and it's time to turn up. Get your dancing shoes on, let go. We really do have it all. It's a premium mix of information and entertainment every single day on 3FM 92.7, your urban lifestyle radio.
The Electoral Commission has reiterated its commitment to organizing free and fair elections this December.
How's your week treating you? I'm here to serve you great music tidbits for your at-work listening pleasure. Rastafari, Rastafari, Rastafari. Our Father, who art in Zion, Kanamawe, Kanamawe, Kanamawe. Oh, turn it up!
All right, so my name Black Rasta, and of course, the voice of the patriot, where we speak truth to power. Remember, here we don't criticize, but if we must, on only one condition, to build and not to destroy. That is why we say we have taken sides. We are not neutral. We are on the side of the truth, the headquarters of the truth. Subscribe and make sure you hit on the like button. And we would always be knocking on your door so you will feel the truth. Like fire, more fire. My name Black Rasta. All right, so my name Black Rasta, and of course, the voice of the patriot, where we speak truth to power. Remember, here we don't criticize, but if we must, and only one condition: to build and not to destroy. That is why we say we have taken sides. We are not neutral. We are on the side of the truth, the headquarters of the truth. Subscribe and make sure you hit on the like button, and we would always be knocking on your door so you will feel the truth. Like fire, more fire. My name Black Rasta. Alright, so my name Black Rasta, and of course, the voice of the patriot, where we speak truth to power. Remember, here we don't criticize, but if we must, on only one condition: to build and not to destroy. That is why we say we have taken sides. We are not neutral. We are on the side of the truth, the headquarters of the truth. Subscribe and make sure you hit on the like button, and we would always be knocking on your door so you will feel the truth. Like fire, more fire. My name Black Rasta. Alright, so my name Black Rasta, and of course, the voice of the patriot, where we speak truth to power. Remember, here we don't criticize, but if we must, on only one condition: to build and not to destroy. That is why we say we have taken sides. We are not neutral. We are on the side of the truth, the headquarters of the truth. Subscribe and make sure you hit on the like button, and we would always be knocking on your door so you will feel the truth. Like fire, more fire. My name Black Rasta. Alright, so my name Black Rasta, and of course, the voice of the patriot, where we speak truth to power. Remember, here we don't criticize, but if we must, on only one condition: to build and not to destroy. That is why we say we have taken sides. We are not neutral. We are on the side of the truth, the headquarters of the truth. Subscribe and make sure you hit on the like button, and we would always be knocking on your door so you will feel the truth. Like fire, more fire. My name Black Rasta. Alright, so my name Black Rasta, and of course, the voice of the patriot, where we speak truth to power. Remember, here we don't criticize, but if we must, on only one condition: to build and not to destroy. That is why we say we have taken sides. We are not neutral. We are on the side of the truth, the headquarters of the truth. Subscribe and make sure you hit on the like button, and we would always be knocking on your door so you will feel the truth. Like fire, more fire. My name Black Rasta. Alright, so my name Black Rasta, and of course, the voice of the patriot, where we speak truth to power. Remember, here we don't criticize, but if we must, on only one condition: to build and not to destroy. That is why we say we have taken sides. We are not neutral. We are on the side of the truth, the headquarters of the truth. Subscribe and make sure you hit on the like button, and we would always be knocking on your door so you will feel the truth. Like fire, more fire. My name Black Rasta. Alright, so my name Black Rasta, and of course, the voice of the patriot, where we speak truth to power. Remember, here we don't criticize, but if we must, on only one condition: to build and not to destroy. That is why we say we have taken sides. We are not neutral. We are on the side of the truth, the headquarters of the truth. Subscribe and make sure you hit on the like button, and we would always be knocking on your door so you will feel the truth. Like fire, more fire. My name Black Rasta. Alright, so my name Black Rasta, and of course, the voice of the patriot, where we speak truth to power. Remember, here we don't criticize, but if we must, on only one condition: to build and not to destroy. That is why we say we have taken sides. We are not neutral. We are on the side of the truth, the headquarters of the truth. Subscribe and make sure you hit on the like button, and we would always be knocking on your door so you will feel the truth. Like fire, more fire. My name Black Rasta. Alright, so my name Black Rasta, and of course, the voice of the patriot, where we speak truth to power. Remember, here we don't criticize, but if we must, on only one condition: to build and not to destroy. That is why we say we have taken sides.
To work. They have fired back a press release dated the 27th of July, 2026. And it's the headlined IMCC Secretariat response to public comments by former Executive Secretary Mr. Dennis Edward Abuaji. The Interministerial Coordinating Committee on Decentralization Secretariat has noted significant inaccuracies and unsubstantiated statements made by Mr. Dennis Edward Abuaji, a marketer and former Executive Secretary of the IMCC Secretariat, during his appearance on Ekosiseng on Asempa 94.7 FM on July 21, 2026. That tape, I played that before I played the Deputy Attorney General's voice for you. Now, the IMCC Secretariat is a public service institution established under Section Section 207 3 of the Local Governance Act 2016 Act 936 and governed by all laws applicable to the public services in Ghana, including the Public Financial Management Act and the Public Procurement Act. Consistent with these obligations, a forensic audit was conducted in 2025. The audit report found Mr. Abuaji and the accountant personally and jointly culpable for identified irregularities, including authorizing facilitating non-compliant transactions. Mr. Abuaji was given the opportunity to respond to the findings, which he did. That's the Gerald gentleman, right? Gerald
Yes.
AG. Is that the name?
Is it? I think it's Gerald Appiah.
Appiah. Oh, yeah, Mr. Appiah. Yes, Mr. Appiah. Gerald Appiah. Investigating matter now, you are going to say that you... Okay.
Yes, but the Appiahs and Abuajis are related.
Okay, that's fine. Following that, the audit findings have been submitted to the Economic and Organized Crime Office, EOCO, for necessary action. The Secretariat is not privy to the full scope or findings of the EOCO's investigations, but has been informed that the audit report forms part of a wider inquiry and will continue to provide requested documents and information in accordance with due process. The Secretariat categorically refutes Mr. Abuaji's claim that the Executive Secretary instructed him to stop commenting on the government matters, or stated that the NDC government was pressuring him to find something on Mr. Abuaji. For clarity, no such directive or instruction was issued. At no point was such alleged disclosure made. On the contrary, the Secretariat states that Mr. Abuaji, through one of his lawyers and a mutual friend, invited the Executive Secretary to a meeting at the lawyer's office on the 18th of July 2025. During the meeting, Mr. Abuaji asked that aspects of the audit findings be dropped, including findings on 2 bank accounts. One of those accounts recorded transactions totaling 102,256,802 Ghana cedi 62 pesos. That's 102,256,802 Ghana cedi 69 pesos, and was not disclosed in the handing over notes. The request also covered matters relating to PNY Investment Limited, BMA BA Enterprise, and GAPTI. The Executive Secretary declined the request. The Secretariat rejects Mr. Abuaji's claim that the current Executive Secretary is targeting him through the audit because of a prior termination of appointment. Oh, this is tangential, and the least said about this claim, the better. So they're doing atika katipo. That's what this letter is saying. The Secretariat states categorically that no audit or review of its operations is intended to victimize any former official. Administrative, financial, and operational reviews are standard governance practices. Therefore, allegations of persecution are false, unfounded, and misleading. The Secretariat further clarifies that following the enactment of the Local Governance Act 2016 Act 936, steps were taken to mainstream its staff into the office of the President and the civil service to ensure institutional continuity and strengthen Ghana's decentralization reforms. By the close of 2025, the Secretariat had been fully integrated into the office of the President, from which it now draws its budgetary allocations and to which its reporting lines are formally established. The IMC Secretariat remains committed to professionalism, accountability, transparency, and the faithful execution of its statutory mandate. It will continue to act in the national interest and will not be distracted by unfounded allegations intended to undermine the integrity of the institution or its leadership. The IMC Secretariat therefore appeals to Mr. Abuaji and the relevant law enforcement agencies to ensure that official documents, including past handing over notes referenced during this media engagement but not currently held by the Secretariat, are returned and without further delay. That's what the Secretariat says, and it's signed by their Public Affairs Department. Yeah?
Position into public.
Now, okay, this is the meat we have. It's almost left with a bone. Let's chew quickly and go.
In fact, I have just a single question for Miracles Abuaji, Dennis. You know, that if the forensic audit the bank records, the procurement files, and the payment approvals all support his version of events. And why is he putting in so much work to convince Ghanaians to trust his words? No, he should just release those documents to support his version or his accounts. Yeah, because I don't see why I should trust him over the state institutions mandated. You know, there's something we usually say. I mean, when you start getting into the governance space, they say when you fight corruption, it fights back.
We'll fight you back, yes.
So I'm also wondering, is Dennis Miracles Abuaje fighting back?
Mm-hmm.
Because if he's not fighting back, you know, it should go beyond rants and noise, and the claims he's making should be substantiated. But another thing too is that the IMCC says one undisclosed account recorded transactions exceeding 102 million Ghana cedis.
Yeah.
Did that account
exist? That was not captured in the handing over notes, according to the new executive director of the
So did that account exist during his tenure? And why was it allegedly omitted from the handing over notes? That's something we need to
question that has to be answered. Well, we'll wait for Yoko. Marina, closing thoughts.
On this subject matter, I find it a bit strange, all of this back and forth. Look, everybody will have their day in court. Iyoko says they cannot and will not respond to everything. That's fair. Otherwise, there will be a lot of distractions. Even I was asking them to respond to claims that someone's 7,000 or 6,800 pounds had gone missing. Abdul Hanan. You remember that issue? So yes, there's a bit of understanding that they will not and cannot respond to everything, but this latest statement as well from the IMCC, if I can call them that, will pose a bit more in terms of questions that require answers. But in their own statement, they say Iyoko is looking at the matter. And so that's where I will leave it. If you have something to answer for, let's do thorough investigation.
I mean, so the burden of proof lies on Yoko.
On
but
Yoko.
The burden of explanation now lies on Dennis Abuaje, because he's the one now, you know.
No, in the court of public opinion, they will continue to make the argument.
So the burden of
I'm tired of the court of public
We take the person to. Let's listen quickly before I bring Patrice in for the last 30 seconds. This was the portion that says that there's some tit for tat. Listen to it.
The current executive secretary, or no kind of money coordinator.
You are executive secretary.
And then no.
Can you pass 6 now?
Or no, can you pass 6 na me koto mo ho.
Oh, okay.
Enti ni pass 6 na me koto mo ho na ye reintegration no omo ko fie be 2 months no ka ho.
Oh.
Enti 2 months later na me frɛ ono na me frɛ no ba me office otimanim. Me ne conversation wa ha. Na me catch they say this is what finance ministry as we agreed has said. Enti when the team ni na ankasa no bia amfa ni document here na embra. And she went. You know, jeje omu nyina documents no dey den or the buy. And I the call civil service. And civil service brought all of them the appointment letter to me. Omu nyina appointment letter or the brand including the current executive secretary. And oba me ono say sisi anu because local government service staff na ba no. In terms of ranking near there no who baby because I told you earlier so no at IMCC they were running like a project.
Sure.
See, your ranking, your money, mama, a bit different. So, integrating with these new guys who are already in the local government sector, there was difficult.
That is the bone of contention now. It looks like Atika. Patrice, closing thoughts.
Yes, sir. For me, one advice is that Dennis Abuaje should stop talking. He should stop talking.
Why should he stop talking?
He should stop talking because
it's constitutional, right?
I know, but I mean, you see. Now Atika has come in.
Are you saying he should stop talking without proof, or he should just stop talking?
He should just hold his. The point is that if Iyoko is dealing with this matter and you report to Iyoko, deal with the Iyoko matter.
Okay.
Because the more you talk, the more revelations come out. The more things are picked out of your statement.
Right.
Even if out of context, it fits into public opinion. So for me, the best thing for him is to just hold on. Finish with this Iyoko thing. Then if there's anything else that you would want to say thereafter, because whatever you say outside the domain and mandate of Iyoko is not going to use it for or against you.
Okay.
Whatever they have on you, that's what they'll be using.
Great.
So it's better for you to manage
I
your
hear you.
communication.
Thank you.
I think so. Thanks so, bro.
Time now for birthdays.
Right.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday